Clearly, you think the police are not telling the truth about Jussie. Are you going to sue?
We're weighing our options now. For Jussie, what's really important is he really just wants his career and his life back.
It would be the stupidest thing in the world when this guy has a sealed record and got the kiss from the prosecutor in the court to allow this to go forward, to then go sue the police department. Because you know what? In the end, you may be found responsible. He's never going to sue them. Never, never, never. Mark my words. And if he does, he needs to have a mental health checkup.
Joining me now is Bob Bianchi. He is a host for the Law and Crime Network and also a former prosecutor. Bob, thank you so much for being here with me. Bob, I wanted to get your reaction to the 16 charges being dropped against Jussie Smollett. I know that you have a lot to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I was a person who ran a prosecutorial agency for 6 years, and I was a young baby assistant prosecutor for 7 years. I've been in the world of prosecution for a long time. I take it seriously. I take the oath of office seriously. They did an investigation. They found out that this man was lying. They filed charges. They brought it to a grand jury. Those are the people that are supposed to determine, based upon the evidence, whether or not it should go forward. They indict him. They go through this big dog and pony show. And then the prosecutor unilaterally decides to basically end this case without even contacting the police to advise them as to why. The head prosecutor, the district attorney themselves, is getting phone calls from people that are advocating on his behalf. The whole thing stinks as far as I'm concerned. And the thing that bothers me about this case is, if I were in charge of an agency where this kind of case came in, a man of wealth, a man of power, a man of celebrity that decides to ratchet up the racial tensions that exist in this country that are a serious problem, and says that he's been the victim of a hate crime and is repeatedly lying to the police for what? For the benefit of more celebrity, for more attention. I need to make a point as a prosecutor. I need to deter this conduct. I need to let him know, and everyone else, that if you lie to police about things like this, you've compromised those legitimate cases where people are truly the victims of hate crimes, because you make people wonder, well, maybe this is a hoax too. So he gets a break. My last point, Stephanie, is we are putting people away in jail like cordwood for minor offenses in this country, for things like marijuana possession, or a kid that it maybe comes from an impoverished area and it can't afford a big-time lawyer and isn't a big celebrity and doesn't have people associated with the president calling in on their behalf. And we're putting those folks in jail. Those people should be angered and outraged at this dismissal of these charges and then sealing it. And like I've been saying in all the media accounts I've been doing, why don't we give them just a big kiss and apologize for the inconvenience?
Yeah, and we heard the mayor of Chicago even weigh in on this, saying that he compared it to the college admissions scandal. So is there a two-tier justice system in America?
I've always said that. Is there? Yeah, there is. I mean, if you can afford a really good lawyer is going to get you a result than a not really so good lawyer. But what bothers me about this is it didn't come down to that. This had nothing to do with defense lawyering. This came down to a pure political calculus. And this is why, Stephanie, parenthetically, I'll note, I'm a fan of the appointment process of prosecutors and judges as opposed to the elected process. I was appointed by the governor with the full consent of both Democrats and Republicans of the Senate. So for my term of office, I did not have to worry about looking over my shoulder. I didn't have to worry about my constituents being angry with me based on the decisions I made. I can make them more purely based upon law and facts and let that be my guiding principle. Do we remember the Duke lacrosse case and Mike Nifong and so many other elected prosecutors and judges that are not doing the right thing because they are worried about the court of a public opinion as opposed to the court of law? So, yeah, I do believe that in this particular case, he had powerful friends. He had powerful people calling in on his behalf. And that district attorney said, oh, I'm going to recuse myself. But she didn't really recuse herself. And don't tell me there wasn't a wink and a nod here, because here's the thing, Stephanie. We all, as prosecutors that do this for a living, I'm a certified criminal trial lawyer. I do prosecution after my career. I do defense. I still practice law right now. We know the value of a case. We know the cases that prosecutors are hot on and what the typical plea offers are and the way they go about it. And that did not happen here. So there's no doubt in my mind, and I've said this on many news stations and I'll say it on yours, I challenge the district attorney anytime, any place, debate me that this was a just sentence. And I challenged the defense bar in Cook County, Chicago, to start lining up in front of that district attorney and say, what about my guy? Can he or she get a kiss too? How about our guys who have done nothing really anywhere near as draconian and dastardly? We haven't lied. We haven't wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars. We haven't ratcheted up race relations based on a false and bogus story. Can we get a break too? I suspect they won't. And I would ask you and the others in the media, watch this district attorney's office very carefully. Go into those courtrooms and see how many people are being required to plead guilty with a felony conviction that will affect them for the rest of their lives, and those that are going to jail on far less than what this man did.
Well, what's curious is that they sealed the case, so there isn't any sort of transparency, and that's why there are so many questions today as to what was going on behind the scenes. Why would they seal this case?
Can you imagine that, Stephanie? Look, the fact they sealed the case tells you everything you need to know. Cover up, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Nobody will know. Don't look behind the curtain. We're going to seal the case. But what they did had the boomerang effect. They sealed it, and everyone knows why they did, because it was a corrupt practice that went on. But they're not going to be able to get away with that, because if you ask me, if I were in Chicago right now meeting with the mayor and meeting with the police chief, I'd say let's file our complaint in federal court or state court right now, suing Mr. Smollett or anyone else that we think may be associated with this for all the money the taxpayers of Cook County and the state of Illinois had to pay for this bogus investigation. And then through the discovery process, we'll find out that which attempted to be hidden in the sealed criminal proceeding. Shame on them for doing that.
Yeah, obviously, there are a lot of questions, and we weren't there that night in Chicago at 2 a.m. after Smollett had picked up his tuna sandwich from Subway. So, I mean, he's not guilty. They were alleging that he committed this hate hoax against himself. We had the Sandario brothers step in, and they're the ones who gave this information to the police officer, their text messages. We saw their surveillance video of the brothers buying the materials that they used allegedly in the hate hoax. So is there any chance that Smollett is innocent? I mean, there was no trial. We don't know.
Look, what can I say about that? I can only tell you that those have reviewed the evidence. You could knock me off the chair with a feather yesterday when the prosecutor, after the mayor's conference, scathing conference, and the police chief's scathing conference, comes out and says, essentially, we're not saying he's innocent. That's not what the prosecutor said in this case. The prosecutor said that they believed that this was a just and fair resolution for what it was that he did. I mean, that's even worse. Stephanie, listen. I've had cases that have been presented to a grand jury and later evidence is developed that turns out to change the opinion. Braiding material comes out that is information that's exculpatory or assists the defense that changes the dynamic and trajectory of the case. You didn't hear the prosecutor say any of that. So why would you go forward with this indictment? Somebody made a decision to do it. Somebody made a decision to not, say, oh, we'll let it go away. We'll give them a slap on the wrist. They went to a grand jury at one point because they were serious about it. They got an indictment because they were serious about it. The prosecutor doesn't say anything changed factually or legally to change that conclusion. And then it all just poof, goes away. I can tell you as a prosecutor, there's something wrong with that calculus.
Well, and now we're hearing that Smollett's lawyer says that they haven't ruled out suing the city of Chicago.
Please go for it, brother, because I'm going to file a cross-complaint, a counterclaim against you, and let's go mano a mano on the case where I have your client answering interrogatories and in the confines of my office in a deposition where we can find out the full truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. It would be the stupidest thing in the world when this guy has a sealed record and got the kiss from the prosecutor in the court to allow this to go forward, to then go sue the police department. Because you know what? In the end, you may be found responsible. He's never going to sue them. Never, never, never. Mark my words. And if he does, he needs to have a mental health checkup.
Well, so and his attorney is still calling him a victim, says he still needs to begin healing from the alleged attack so he can get his life back on course. So if he's a victim, where are the attackers?
Well, I was saying that too. If he truly is a victim and he's innocent, and look, I don't know the file, I don't know the case, I'm not passing on that. I'm passing on the process of what occurred here, which stinks to high heaven. But if he truly is, then those two buds of his, those two friends that he wrote the check to, well, they should be arrested and they should be charged with committing a hate crime, no? Please.
Yeah. So are they protected? Were they given some sort of immunity?
I don't know the answer to that. I haven't heard anything about immunity in any of this. I heard that they came forward and they voluntarily gave their statements to the police. So I don't know. But they are clearly the people that did it. They admitted to that. So if it is true that Mr. Smollett's not guilty or he's quote unquote innocent of these charges, then they should be charged. But that's not going to happen here because the prosecutor is very clear. He does not believe Mr. Smollett is innocent. He just felt it was a just resolution. In other words, he really didn't do anything that bad.
And there's calls for this to be kind of just pushed under the rug because Chicago has bigger fish to fry. What message does that send to America?
Well, listen, the message it sends to me, that saddens me as a former prosecutor, is that justice can be purchased or justice can be manipulated or justice can be distorted. I worked for an entire career as a prosecutor to make sure that not only were my decisions correct, and I'm not just the only one, most of us, not only are they correct, but in a court of public opinion, they understand that it was done honestly and fairly. And while they may not like what the ultimate outcome was, that they believe that we believed it was the right thing to do. Not that we always get it right. We're human beings and we're infallible. But when you see something like this, it besmirches the entire criminal justice system. And I feel bad for that young man and that young girl, especially in the minority communities, that have to see something like this after what and the manner in which they're treated in the criminal justice system. Because it's clear to all that watch this, there are two systems of justice, at least in Cook County, and that is not right.